Hello everyone and welcome. Yes, my name is Arrowfire and welcome back to another episode of my top 5. And in keeping with the Rise of the Beast films that comes out, I want to do my top 5 primitives. Now, a lot of you will know the term from the Call of the Primitives episode, and really this is going to be any animal of any kind. I will say I'm not going to go too heavy on Beast Wars. It's very easy just to go down that line of route. This could be stylized, this could be mythical, this could be anything that is a creature of any heads and arms and legs and wings that we like. So let's get into it, shall we?
Top 5.
Number 5, Skylynx. Now this is a very popular choice because Skylynx in and of itself is a interesting choice. He's a duocon, more or less. He divides up into two with one sentience, one mind, into a bird and a lynx. So what is it, a dragon? It's something that was never really explained to us either, why there is two modes, why in the Return of Optimus Prime the Lynx did most of the talking and we only saw a couple of action scenes of the Lynx, and other than toys we haven't really seen the Lynx since. Size wise this guy is huge and actually squares up to Predaking, which is no mean feat, and obviously is a shuttle for the Autobots. Really Skylynx outshines Jetfire as the Lieutenant Commander, as the Commander class, as the shuttle. Looks cool, and even in the more recent War for Cybertron series on Netflix, there was a chance that through his sheer ego that we know so very well, that he saw himself as the next leader of the Autobots. And that, I think, is quite a nice development for the character. A character who already looks cool and does take quite a leadership stance and obviously thinks highly of himself. The fact that he considers himself worthy to be the carrier of the Matrix. Number 4, Optimus Primal. Okay, I had to get at least one Beast Wars character in here, but I actually want to pick on the Rise of the Beast version that we've just seen in the film. I really do like this design, particularly in Gorilla Mode. There is a brutishness about this, a real silverback. Not to say that obviously I'm a big Beast Wars fan and I love Beast Wars Primal. I love the voice and the heroic stance of Optimus Primal, but Rise of the Beasts hit a bit different. There was a nobleness there, but there was that primal rage, which is exactly what you want coming through as a character. This is why I like the Beast Wars so much, the Beast Formers, is that their character is the beast themselves. They take on the character's characteristics through their own personality. And Primal in Rise of the Beasts felt brutish, with a noble sense, with a heroic sense, but his fighting, his swinging, his stance, his beating of his chest, there was raw gorilla energy in there that really makes you think, oh, if I was a Terracon or a Decepticon, I might want to think twice about going up against that silverback. Number 3, the Decepticon Sinatwin. This is something I've always liked. The Terracons were quite a misfit squad, and Hungar was the one with the most on-screen time of the cartoon and the most recognisable, being the leader, being the torso. But I always liked Sinatwin. I liked that colour scheme and the kind of mythical twin-headed, I don't know, chimera? I don't know what you would call it. It's a two-headed lizard dragon creature of some kind. But I loved that they would take turns to talk, whereas you always felt Hungar was one mind with two mouths. For some reason this felt like two minds within. I like the bot mode as well of Sinatwin, but the beast mode did look quite cool, the colours look quite cool, and again was one of the few other characters, possibly the only other character of the Terracons in a Generation 1 cartoon to get a speaking line. I don't think Cutthroat, Blot or Rippersnapper actually got speaking roles, so it was Hungar and Sinatwin only. Not surprising given their unique display and how they looked. Really versus any other Transformer, it made you notice them. It certainly made you notice them when they combined into Abominus. Sinatwin was always a little favourite of mine. And he had to make the list, didn't he? Number 2, Razorclaw. Yes, okay, I'm going to give the world some of my Razorclaw love. I love Razorclaw, of course, but what I liked about it is actually what I'm most surprised about is the fact that there hasn't really been many lions in Transformers as a whole. There's Leo Prime and maybe Steeljaw, other than maybe Cheetor or Tigatron going down that kind of route, but a lion with a mane, It's surprising that wasn't done sooner. There was even a rumour that I read online that the Predacons were originally meant to be for the Autobots because of their colour scheme and palette. They had more heroic colours than the sort of black and purple typical Decepticon colours. I don't know if I buy that. For me, they felt like a good match against the Dinobots. You've got grey hunking dinosaurs versus feral coloured animals from the jungle. It felt like a good counter. This is why, whilst I'm not a big fan of the Dinobots combining into Volcanicus, I do like the idea of Volcanicus versus Predaking. But Razorclaw has been my favourite. Comes across in a fair few roles in season 3 of the Generation 1 cartoon with speaking roles. Came across as a leader, came across with that hunting in the pack, and whenever you see him in comic iterations, there's a chance that he is still the leading voice, and even a chance that he will take leadership from Starscream at one point. He will challenge Starscream for leadership of the Decepticons. I'm very happy with that. I actually like the fact that it isn't just Starscream as the automatic successor. If Megatron was just a drop off the face of the world, then other Decepticons would throw the hat into the ring, and who better than the leader of the Predacons, the lion and the leader of the pack, to potentially be the next Decepticon leader. And number 1, Grimlock. Because as much as I'm a big Razorclaw fan, Grimlock's been there from the start. Almost the first episode in one form or another, certainly the first series, and is prominent in almost any Transformer line since. If it's not in his typical grey dinosaur guise, it's in another name. We've seen him as a crane before now, an excavator, the name being repurposed. It's a household name. Some people will tell you it's one of the big 6 Transformers that you do see in every line because it's a staple. You see a Grimlock alongside a Megatron, alongside an Optimus Prime. But the legacy that Grimlock has left behind is unparalleled. He's arguably as big as Optimus Prime in terms of stature. He took over as leader of the Autobots in the Marvel Comics, and that made a lot of sense. It still does now. When you get that primitive side out the way, there is a smart leader underneath. And the character always kind of falls a bit short because I think the portrayal in a Generation 1 cartoon that he was dim-witted and slow, and particularly by season 3 he was much more of a joke character than a big threat, actually did him a little bit of harm in terms of his stature and performance. You look in anything else, particularly in the Fall of Cybertron series, when you see that big square head Grimlock going up against Shockwave, or even reading the IDW comics, you see that primal rage, that prehistoric beast within. And this is why whenever you look at it, you know Megatron's scared. You know the Decepticons are scared when they see Grimlock coming towards them, because there's no mercy, there's no heroicness, and there's no nobleness that Optimus would have to maybe let the Decepticons get away and surrender. Grimlock will not do that. There is just uncontrolled aggression, more of an anti-hero than anything else. So when you see it in some of these more stylized looking in the IDW, you see that teeth, that presence of a Tyrannosaurus Rex, and that is totally unsurprising that in the Call of the Primitive episodes, that really is Grimlock's showcase episode. We see a lot of him, and of course he is the hero at the end of the day, as well he should be. And there we go, that is my top 5 primitive Transformers, really anyone animal themed. There are a lot out there to choose from, and as I say, there's a lot in Beast Wars you could pick from. I had to leave out the likes of Cheetor and Dinobot, not to mention Beast Wars Megatron, but Airazor, other Terracons as well. There's many to choose from. Tell me your favourites in the comments below. I'd love to know what you think. But thanks for watching, and as always, I will see you on the next one.